Hey, Gwenters, and welcome back for another episode of Gone Gwenting. Welcome to my new display, new microphone, new setup. So here's hoping this works out well. Please leave a comment for what you think about how this is working compared to my old way. If you're having problems displaying on your phone, your computer, your iPad, your Android tablet, whatever it may be that you use to play Gwent with and watch my videos, let me know what you think about this new display. Today is Wild Hunt Wednesdays, and I am going to be recording an overwhelming hunger deck. I've probably seen a lot of these on ladder. I used some inspiration from the Team Leviathan Gaming meta report, as well as a bunch of decks I've gone up against. And I really was missing some of the thinning. And so the biggest change that I've made from those decks is basically we're going to use Oberon, pray to get Oberon with these Wild Hunt Riders. Oh, and we'll try not to click out of them. I'm just still getting used to this using a PC, which is way more beautiful. And you can just right click to see the card. Big change for me. I also have to look for the back button because I'm used to just tapping outside of the window on iPad and iOS device. So we are where we are. Anyway, but the other things I've done here is I've taken off Imperial Manticore. It just gives us a little bit more flexibility with the third use of our Overwhelming Hunger, and added in Predatory Dive. It basically does the same thing. It just, I don't have points on the board. I'd say that's the one downside, but we were able instead to add in 2 Wild Hunt Riders, and the whole reason behind that is basically we can use Oberon to proc a Wild Hunt Rider as one of those Wild Hunt units he spawns, and we can pull out the other 2 Wild Hunt Riders, which will give us 9 points plus the 6 from Oberon. And he works well in any of these any of these rounds, really, right? So it's spawn and play a random Wild Hunt unit. So and then this one is create and play a Wild Hunt unit. So big difference here. Spawn adds the card to the game, and then create is spawn one of 3 randomly selected cards from a specified source. So I think second round is the best way to use him. That way you get 3 choices as opposed to just the one random card that it just gives you without any kind of option there. So so we're probably going to be looking to use him in a bleed situation in round 2, and then we'll use the tall cards, Ikern, Osril, Goliath, and then also our leader ability to put some real pressure on in round 1. And then we have some really great removal options in Striga, Parian Phantom, Werecat. Then Gaels is going to give us a grab on this Ardgaith, and you can just type in Wild Hunt here and see our Wild Hunt cards. But Ardgaith and Naglfar as just really solid options. Naglfar, I think, is underappreciated. I think the thing I would really recommend you pay attention to with Naglfar is make sure you are playing it in the first or second round. Don't wait to play it because you want to move that other gold card to the top of your deck. So with that in mind, let's jump into a game and see where we get. I am still trying to figure out how to use this and work best. I know this is why some of my decks have been delayed, why some of my gameplay has been a little off lately. It's just been a lot of changing, but I'm pretty excited. I think that this is going to work out a lot better for everyone. And I really like how the aspect ratio is looking. I really like how the recordings are working. It's just making sure we're getting this to work just right. And I think it will for you guys. I am playing on a 27-inch display instead of an 11-inch display, which feels just massive to me. It's just like so much space. But I have an awesome graphics card that's able to give you guys to really take advantage of the 4K textures and to display just exactly how awesome this game really can be. Okay, so first thing, there are several bricks in this deck. I'd say that's probably one of the few drawbacks, but Winter Queen definitely goes in the deck. Werecat is a great row punish. The rest of these cards I feel pretty happy about. The only other one I'd say is problematic here. Gaels is just going to be a brick unless we put one of these other 2 back in. And I'd rather be able to grab Ardgaith whenever I want to, so we'll put Naglfar back in. And then Wild Hunt Riders go back in because we want to try to get them with Oberon. Then the other thing we really want to do here is just come and see what gold cards do we still have. Winter Queen, so we want to get her out first before we play Naglfar. Parian Phantom, Striga. Parian Phantom is just really good because it's like a passive boost plus a removal. But Oberon, Ikarin are all cards I want to do. I just don't want to play them right away. So I do want to make sure I get this Ardgaith out, get it working, and then go from there. But right now, let's just get an Andrega Larva out. And Blaze of Glory is a really interesting deck where you can just move a Skellige unit from your graveyard, and then damage a unit by its power. It's really powerful. I really actually quite like it. So downside here, I basically have to play a unit in order to keep this alive, or I can use this tactical advantage. And so that can be kind of a tough situation for me normally, but here I don't mind so much. I think we really want to try to get out that Winter Queen, and so we're going to go ahead and use this and then boost up our Andrega Larvae and then pull up this Winter Queen just so she's able to take advantage of this passive Thrive, and then we can play Gaels to get some real value here. So he needs to establish his graveyard as part of this Blaze of Glory deck, which is why we're going to see the Savage Bear come out, and we're also seeing this Crow Mother come out. It's really important for Skellige to get Crow Mother out. That way she comes every round whenever he plays an alchemy card. So she's really good for those reasons. Then the Savage Bear is just going to give an additional charge to the next Savage Bear if it dies. And then here I think we're just going to go Gaels, so we get that other gold card. We're going to play the Naglfar, and then we get these two options, and we're going to save Oberon King for next round, and we'll play a Parian Phantom right now, and we'll just use him for the passive boost, and then he's going to proc these Thrives on these Andrega Larvae. So we're just kind of racking up. We have some good passive engines, Winter Queen here as well, and then we have Maruna whenever we want to seize an enemy with 4 power or less. She can be a really good option. And what we might actually use her for, my plan to use her, will be on this Crow Mother. Alright, Giga Scorpion Decoction is a good draw here from Ermion, but he's going to die next round, so maybe not the best option. And then I think here we'll probably use... let's go ahead and kill off one of these units. Wild Hunt Bruiser will also proc the Thrive on all of these. And I think here, let's go ahead and kill off the Crow Mother. I want her to come back out. I want him to have to use all of his alchemy cards now. And it would not surprise me to watch him pass now. I mean, we're 21-4. I have no engines that are getting me points automatically, but I do have engines. I do have these Thrive cards that are getting a lot of value out for me. But I think here we'll go ahead and use the Goliath. That way we're still getting value from this Osril no matter what. And we'll proc these 3 Thrives all over again. And if you want a really good, easy way to get that level 30 boss you keep seeing ticking up here, that is whenever a Devotion card is procced. Winter Queen is a really easy one to get that from just because she's Thrive. So, and that's she's such a great valuable card. I honestly would suggest adding her into most decks just so you can, even if you're not even playing Devotion, she's just a great thinning card. Really easy to get out. You just have to play Ardgaith or Red Riders. And then we get Ardgaith back again here. So this is really good for us. Natural Selection is good, but not amazing. Let's hide our cards. Let's see what else we have. I think I'd really rather have Ikarin, Ada Striga, but I really don't want to draw into these Wild Hunt Riders. That's the only thing I'm really worried about. So let's go ahead and shuffle this back in. Noonwraith is pretty good. I don't want a Wild Hunt Rider, so we're just going to cap this off right now. And the other thing, too, with Oberon, bringing him into the 3rd round, you have to think, like, what kind of value are you going to get out of that, right? So here we have the Oberon Conqueror. they'll deploy, create a wild hunt unit, and then whenever you play a wild hunt unit, boost it by 1. Well, you have to look and see how many wild hunt units do we actually have here. Just this Bruiser and these NL Conquerors. So, I mean, it could be a maximum of 3 additional points for us, but otherwise, it's not really that big a deal. So let's go ahead and get these larva out here. Let's get them working. And then we will just go ahead and play this a little slower than normal. Wait to see if he plays an alchemy card would be really good, like an alchemy removal, maybe like a Mardrome to do the 3 damage to get one of these off. It'll proc the Crow Mother from his graveyard, and then we can use Maruna to go ahead and steal that. He doesn't do that. Instead, he plays this Crow Clan Preacher first so that she can get that passive boost, which isn't a bad option. It's also not a great option. And then we just basically have to decide here when we want to play Ardgaith. I think it's probably better to use this round than next round, but we'll just play this a little slow and we'll just give it some time. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it right now. I don't want to put out... I mean, Blaze of Glory is a removal deck at its heart, right? I mean, this leader ability gives it a good removal power, and I don't want to feed into that removal before I have to. And this is a clean way of removing Crow Clan Preacher, say that 6 times fast, or another card that you might want. Okay, Savage Bear gets played from the graveyard. He now has 3 cards, so Maruna is going to be a bit dangerous here, but I still think she's probably the right choice. If we can go ahead and pull that Crow Mother over to our side, that's going to work really well for us. So the way you'll play her, you just play her down, then you use your leader ability. It's going to consume her, and then it's going to pull over a card onto our side. So we got the worst of the 3 options in this Crow Clan Preacher, but, you know, she is passive points for him, so we have robbed him of an engine, and he is now down to these, but he still has this Crow Mother, which I really would have liked to have taken from him. We need to make sure to keep this Andrega Larva alive. That's going to be pretty easy to do just by playing some of these other cards. And we're going to go ahead and play Werecat here. Then Werecat has Thrive, but also it has this Death Wish ability. And this is why I added in those Wild Hunt Riders, so we could get 3 consumes, Werecat being one of them. And Werecat is going to proc that 1 damage again when we consume it. So this is like a really, really good first and second round deck. It can be really vulnerable in a third round if the enemy has really good, strong engines. So use it to really get some pressure out on your opponent and make value of that. We're going to go ahead and play Oberon Invader here and just pray that we can get the Wild Hunt Riders. We don't get them, which is unfortunate. So this is going to play for a max of 7 points. So NL Conquer is probably the best choice. This is another, unless there was like a really good engine we wanted to remove here, which she's going to be able to be worth a max of 7 points too. So I think we'll play NL Conqueror to proc all of these Thrives. And then because we didn't get anything super fantastic, we'll go one more round and then we'll use this Overwhelming Hunger on this Werecat to proc 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, but not kill that Crow Mother. Again, you don't want to keep killing her off. She's just going to keep coming back from the dead. So just keep that in mind as you are playing against this deck. This is bad. This is a terrible brick play for him. I mean, the one thing you can do with this, though, is Elfin Onion Soup is an alchemy card, and you can go ahead and kill both of these cards. They'll both come back from the graveyard, and you can get a lot of points that way. And since I know that that's probably what he's going to do, we're going to go ahead and give Morkvarg Doomed now, just so he's not worth those extra points. And we'll play this Noon Wraith. It also forces him to the melee row, which is what we also want. I should have explained that as well. So it's another damage proc we're going to get. And if he plays this Elfin Onion Soup, he's only going to get his Crow Mother back. So you have to kill 2 units with the same border color, and then it will give you a random unit of your faction from that same border. So it's a really fun card to play, and you can do a lot of stuff with it. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and use this beast play here with Axel 3 Eyes. Really good tempo play that you can make with that. But it's really not going to quite be enough for him. We're really going to tempo him out of this round. So we'll go ahead and play this Noon Wraith. I'm playing this first so that we get the Werecat up to 6. And then we'll go ahead and use Overwhelming Hunger again right here. Boom. Procs a bunch of damage. We get another 2 points. And we're just going to save this Overwhelming Hunger for Ikern. We want to play Ikern and then immediately consume it. That way it's not so vulnerable out here on the board. So another option you can do actually with Elf and Onion Soup is to play this Gremist. It looks like that is the play that he really does want to make. And we're going to go ahead and let him make that and get out of this round. We're up by 20 points. Things are probably feeling pretty dire for him. Another Blaze of Glory play you can make is Judah on Dimoon. Remember, she's a 12-point card, or Skjal is a 10-point card. You just go ahead and put them to your graveyard. Not a ton you're going to do with that. So here we see her come out. She does that 12 damage, removes that card, and then you can play Sigdriva's Right to go ahead and pull her out. And since she's just played, she's just going to come out and sit there instead of an actual play where she damages herself by half of her points. She's also a good play against this monsters deck because Ikern plays for 13 points. And so Ikern can just be good value there. Alright, the card I want least here is probably Natural Selection. Wild Hunt Rider is probably fine. I think we'll get our dominance with Ozril, so it's 6 points. But let's see what else we have here. Bruiser, we're not going to have anything. But Predatory Dive, Ikern, and NL Conqueror are all worth more. And it's fewer cards on the board, so we're going to see if we can get that. Alright, Predatory Dive works fine here. We're going to be able to remove this Crow Clan Preacher right away. But we're going to go ahead and play Autostriga because I know I can remove her with Autostriga with the dominance right up, straight away. So she's a good play there. Although this Predatory Dive is going to destroy each of our units, we can go ahead and pass if he plays something of lower value. But this Striga is going to be worth 3 points, so I don't mind playing it now. It's a beast for him. Striga makes no difference for me. So he would have had 4, I would have had 3, and then if he had like a different unit that boosted beasts, that beast could have gotten targeted. So something to keep in mind. Boat Builders is going to be able to give him armor to this Crow Mother, which is fine. Not a big deal one way or the other. NL Conqueror will come out. That's just 7 points for us. And then we'll use Ozril to get to 11 points. He already had to use his leader ability just to get out a second round. So we are in a very good place. This worked out really well for us. We didn't even really have to use much. And we could have used our Ozril to consume one of his units. But it was that Judah I would have consumed, and we just didn't need to do that. So anyway, this is a really fun deck. You can get a lot of value out of it, a lot of tempo. It's really good if you can win first round. You've seen me get all of these get all of my achievements from like super easy stuff because it's the first time I played on PC. But I'm having a ton of fun. I'm enjoying this. Let me know what you guys think about this deck, what you think about my setup, how you think about these new videos. Also, let me know what you think about these new video each day. Obviously, that's a lot more videos from me. If you feel like that's too much, let me know. But I think this is a good way. All of us like to play different factions, and it also pushes me to play with other factions I don't play with as much, including monsters, and experience some of these really fun decks that you can do a lot of other things with. Now, I know we didn't even really use the Wild Hunt Riders, and the Predatory Dive wasn't superbly helpful for us, but they did great work on both ends. We could have played the Predatory Dive to kill off that Crow Clan Preacher, and then the Savage Bear would have been worthless, and we could have gone ahead and killed that. We just didn't know exactly what they had in their hands, and it worked out for us either way. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much, but get out there and keep on Gwenting.